great to be back. So we're here. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning. Welcome back because you were missing last week.
Yes, I was. I took a week.
Yeah, you were doing galamsey.
Oh, not really.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
We
get
just
it. We get it.
part of assisting Mother Ghana. I was with the Church of Pentecost.
Okay.
At the Church of Pentecost Prayer and Convention Center.
Okay.
The Jospon Group had their annual leadership conference. We had Reverend Dr. Samadeyemi, a number of great speakers.
So you're
around.
a better person essentially after last week.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're surprised.
I'm not looking at you.
No, that's my church actually.
Yes, that's
the church of.
I just got to know this morning.
The Church of Pentecost.
Achimota
nice.
Assembly, you said?
No, New Achimota Assembly.
Where's that one? Where's New
No,
Achimota?
that's after Achimota.
Okay.
So the part of St. John's,
New Boy.
Tantra Hill. No, New Boy Town will be part of La Paz and those part of town. Yeah. And I think that we need to commend the church.
For the convention, the center.
Yeah.
More than that, for their cleanup exercise, there's a campaign going on that is possessing the nation. So the church is not limiting itself to its comfort zone of just preaching the gospel, but any effort that would tie in with whatever government is doing to be able to help in secular activities like cleanup. And from there, they are going to the prisons to help build more, if you like, spacious prison cells that can help inmates release the congestion they already get themselves involved.
Great.
Yeah. It's a good thing, but here's one criticism. I had some of my colleagues talk about it this morning, led by Dennis Thompson, our sound engineer. So the church is cleaning, and the church is cleaning once or twice a month.
Yes.
Yeah. But the point is, people are not being punished for doing the wrong thing. So when they know that, oh, the church will come and clean at the end of the month, let's just do it. The church will clean it anyway. So we need the church to move from that zone of we will clean once in a month and let's do something a lot more. We know that checking people to do the right thing essentially is the work of the police. They are supposed to maintain law and order. But we know that they've greatly failed in areas of sanitation. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are different people to police sanitation and not the police service necessarily.
Sure.
But we failed in that area.
Yeah,
so let's leadership, which includes the church, look at other ways of making sure that people do the right thing.
The whole thing is about awareness creation. So the whole of last Sunday at our area.
Are you still sure we need awareness creation?
Yeah, because people need to change their behavior patterns.
I think we've created awareness enough.
No,
we're always creating.
We don't have the.
And people are always doing the wrong thing. Yeah.
Maybe some of us have been exposed for a while, but not all of us. With time, they will come
sure?
along. They will come along.
Hey, you still have hope.
I do.
Behavioral changes naturally.
Okay, now let's do what we're paid to do. Exactly. Let's look at the stories in the newspapers.
Right.
Where do we begin?
Well,
I have the Ghanaian Times, most authoritative newspaper. Okay, it says, after successful conduct of funeral, installation of new Yaa Naa. Okay, President hails Dagbon, congratulates new Yaa Naa of Dagbon, Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu, an eminent chief. So the president is passing on congratulations to the various stakeholders who made this happen. Then GRA restores Fantiges alliances. Then we also have President attend swearing in of Madagascar's president. U.S. Congressman advocates travel ban against Kennedy, Japan. Then Kotoko owns cartoon sports to qualify for group stage of Confederation Cup.
Wow.
Then Minister urges more access roads for Pokuase, I beg your pardon, commuters.
Talking about Pokuase, is a great user.
It is crazy. As
you're around Pokuase.
Yeah,
wow.
you'd see that there's serious traffic.
It's partly because of the construction that is ongoing.
Well, yeah, greatly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but it kind of like slows down when you're getting to Pokuase, because that's where people are doing the U-turn. People are doing the wrong thing. Some people are driving on the wrong side of the road, So there's a bit of chaos and discipline right there.
If you also look, I live at Ofankor barrier.
Okay.
You see the stretch from Ofankor to is it Neoplan. They've enhanced those roads. So you have a lot of people who are able to get to Pokuasi very quickly. However, Pokuasi has not been able to enjoy that kind of enhancement. So we all get to Pokuasi and you have to wait and do the lean tail of the road.
Yeah.
All right.
So you have to cross that stretch like 5:10.
Yes.
You can't do that
You
at
mean
5:30.
before 5:10?
Yeah, or by 5.
Otherwise, you're in trouble.
No, even 5:30, like 5:20 could be disastrous. That's what I mean.
Like for you, it means you won't be in time.
Yeah, for the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Has on the front page, EIU, that's the Economic Intelligence Unit on the Ghanaian economy, and that story is on pages 2 and 3 of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. We also have EIU's assessment of the 2020 elections. They have the latest update. MPP are favorite, but the NDC can surprise them, and now will be 76 in 2020. Will MPP change him? Was that part of the assessment of the EIU or the Daily Dispatch? Just also have to log on to www.dailydispatchgh.com to get the latest update on that. They're giving you their copies free there before, I guess, once they get the traffic, then they'll get the activations right. Housing conditions in Accra, Tema, and Cape Coast. They bring you the latest figures on what you should expect, how the cost, who has access and who doesn't. We are not sabotaging local LPG operators, and as the National Petroleum Authority has a chief executive's picture attached, Hassan Tampoli. On the back page, all those stories enumerated. That's the back page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. But we have key economic changes since November 2018. And you have some of the focused figures there. I'll bring you some great insight in the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Marvin?
Let's do the daily graphic. Front page of the graphic. New health insurance levy will overburden citizens according to stakeholders. Looters and cheats killed Swale Hussein according to the family. Yaa Naa Enskinment on course in spite of attack, and Madagascar will seek stronger ties with Ghana according to the newly elected president Rajolina. This is the first time that Madagascar is witnessing a peaceful transition between two elected presidents. Really historic moments for them. Back page of the daily graphic is some sport. Kotoko break 11-year jinx as they reach Confederation Cup group stage. Center spread of the paper, Bad Hohoi Jasikan Road pushes investors out. It's a new feature by Mary Anane Amponsa, who is in Hohoi. It's in the center spread of the daily graphic.
It's in the OT region, right? Sure.
Jasikan is in the Volta region.
Yeah.
Before.
By now, OT.
Okay.
OT.
Is it?
We have redemarcated Ghana. OT.
So you're sure it's in OT?
Sure.
You're not sure? You think it's Volta?
No, it's an OT.
I don't know.
Okay,
Jessica.
I'm speaking from what I know before the redemarcation.
Okay.
From there you get to Kejebia.
Well, some investors of multiple sites Ghana Limited on inspection of the 2,000 acres with chiefs and elders. It's one of the small headlines in the center spread of the paper. You can check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the daily guide. The front page has a picture of Ghana's most wanted, #1, beaming with smiles. It says, #1 faces Dubai court February 2. We are told that should be on Saturday. 1 dead, 2 arrested over new Yaa Naa. Airport boss still at post. GRA clears Fantiga company. Kidnappings rock Takrade. That is sad. Dr. Kofi Amwa must resign, but Med demands. Pacquiao retains crown. And in sports, Kotoko in money zone.
All right, let's finish up with the final newspaper real quick. Front page, Accord Yaa Naa Respect Committee of Eminent Chiefs appeals. President's confident of order in Dagbon. International pressure mounts on Ghana to find Ahmed's killers. My visit to Ghana attracted negative reactions in US, according to Hollywood actor Michael Jai White. Okay. My exit from Bank of Ghana escalated activities of men's gold, according to former deputy governor. Pensions funds not invested in GAT, according to Forum. Okay, so basically these are the headlines, front page, the Finder newspaper. Let's start off. Let's talk about Ahmed Swale. The angle that the Finder picks is the fact that there's international pressure mounted on Ghana to find Ahmed Swale, and almost every international outlet has talked about this. There are groupings who are also issuing releases and condemning what had happened in Ghana. But there's also the congressman, that famous letter. And to think that some of the recommendations, some of the things that he's asking for to happen, we couldn't do in Ghana. Knowing that whether the comments by Kennedy Japan is connected to the death, the gruesome murder or not, we don't know. That's not where we're going. But the comments alone should have been attended to in a way that nobody did.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's an offense in itself. Threatening somebody's life, making statements that are libelous against the person of another person, all constitute crime. Even as we sit here, if I should say, many people in this country have been arrested for just making some of those comments. There's this guy in Kumasi, I've forgotten his name. He used to be an MPP member who defected to NDC, very popular. Something Stadium, Apia Stadium. Once he was arrested, he had made comments against.
Yeah, I think I remember that incident.
Yes, he had made comments against the president. We've had situations where people were picked from radio stations. Then it was either one made a comment against Kofi Adams. Then he was picked up at the time. Then another person to make some comments. In these comments that are inappropriate, our laws do not support it. So everybody will be within their place to say that our security services more or less slept on the job when they failed to apprehend.
You're even going really far. Let's look at Koku Anyudoho.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Yeah.
Exactly. The whole of this Muntie trio was about indecent comments against the judicial service, and they were punished appropriately. So it must be clear from the onset. And one thing we know from the statesmen, one new thing they have brought up is that, and I say this cautiously, they believe that their son started receiving threats upon his life when his image came public. Whether this is true or not, we cannot independently verify, but they put
There's
that
also
out.
the question of, did they ever report any of the threats that came
from the
through?
press statement? They said they've done that on several occasions,
So
and it did
now
not yield any results.
So now we're watching the police, because if they reported the threats that came through, then you must be following some sort of lead even before this happened.
Exactly.
So you must be picking up. But the other bit is the entourage, what we sent to Dubai to find out that...
I wanted to make some comment. You wanted to speak
No,
speak
go
on
ahead,
that one.
then we'll talk about it.
But I think also if you take a look at our history, especially in the Fourth Republic, we consistently as a state seem to have that non-commitment towards protecting citizens, ordinary citizens, even sometimes high-profile people, in situations in which their lives could be in danger. Because if you take cognizance of the fact that one of the great pillars of our democracy, or the Fourth Republican democratic dispensation, is having a liberal, a prolific media, and an institution that also seems to be the anchor of our democracy, then it looks like the posture of the state towards protecting that institution, because the Constitution recognizes it, perhaps even saliently, is not the best. If you take a cursory observation of what the comments have been from those who are related and work with Tiger Eye, you get to find that even prior to the screening of the number 12, they had death threats. And we shouldn't think that people don't know Anas. I know Anas. A lot of people know them. Of course, maybe when they started doing serious work, they may not be in the public domain. But if the police should hear, whether on TV or radio or any other public platform, that somebody makes any comment against a member of an institution that is integral in a certain activity that could also pose danger to their lives. And I think that the Ghana Police Service, as well as the allied institutions, should have taken this as seriously as they could. The BNI is there. It's a covert agency. Or what do? Do they relocate people, advise them to do this? Do they give them enough protection? And I don't think that Ghana as a state acted in a good stead positively towards some of the citizens involved in all this.
You know what is
and it's sad.
painful? You know what is painful? The fact that we're not even getting information.
No, because
police is not telling us. You know, like there should be, because that's what the family is saying. Oh, he received threats even before this day. You know, this unfaithful. But police is not saying anything.
I am getting sad. Sad because it's becoming clear that people don't trust the police.
Is that a reason?
It's a thing you don't say publicly, but it's becoming more or less an established opinion that the police will act within a certain angle depending on who is involved. It's also becoming as if the police or the security service is politicized in a way. That is, the police service, they are more careful if it's got to do with certain elements who have political leaning. Other than that, our security agencies are one of some of the very best we can have across the world.
We sit here and we look at, we talk, when it's convenient, we talk about America and Europe. But if this had happened there,
yes,
right there on that same day, there will be a press conference.
Yes.
You know, there will be the police and all agencies related appropriately, giving us a proper brief and telling us what has happened, and, you know, with the family. I mean, it will all be together. We've seen it so many times on television.
Well, true.
We see it. We see it on CNN. We see it on BBC.
And the thing is that if an issue is of public interest, then it means that the public's eye and ears are on the ground to get the latest update. It also tends to calm nerves and also assure the public that we're on the beat. Not necessarily that perhaps maybe you have the latest information, but you just want to give,
just give us.
It's like if a disaster happens and you want to tell the
public.
public.
Oh, this is what we discovered. This was what was reported.
Yes.
You know, we're with the family. You know, we extend our heartfelt. Don't tell us that you've arrested this person or that person. That's not what we want.
Not at all.
Just give us that update that we need, instead of we asking questions and putting one or two together all the time. You know, this police service wants you to call them, and when you call, nobody is willing to talk. That's like they want you to chase them. But number 12 was like the biggest thing. I mean, look at fallout of number 12. And if somebody from that team has been killed in the way that this happened, you don't sit there for us to call you for information. You give us information as and when. You don't wait for some congressman sitting in his country to write and say,
even
and
the
make
UN has
recommendations.
we've had UN officers writing, and some of those things.
We've had FIFA also issuing a press statement, and we sit here as if this is not. This is the biggest story because it came out from the biggest discovery that led to, you know, it banned somebody for life. Yeah. You know.
And when we know that the work that they did definitely is going to put people's lives at risk, their lives will be in danger. So they should have been given the needed protection as much as possible. And if you take...
You know, see, you're saying that because as we sit here, we don't even know what kind of protection the state gave them. You get it?
Well,
that's just, I'm saying that if we had information, if they were providing us, but you want to say something?
From the press conference, then the call for protection didn't yield much results, because that's what they said, that they called for protection several times, but it did not protect him from death. But the point I want to still stress on is that when the issue is neutral, as I've come to see our police work, we see this kind of proactiveness you are describing. Let's say the Malcolm disaster. There's no political fallout for anybody. They were on the beat.
So, but what is the political fallout for this one? Forget about the fact that a politician...
Number 12 was very political.
Yes.
Okay.
Political names were mentioned. It was huge to the point that the president himself had to issue a disclaimer at the tail end of the public viewing.
Yeah, but in the end, there was only one man who fell really hard, right?
No, politics is also about the perception of corruption, not the reality of
whether
it.
related or not related.
People have been affected by the work. And previous works by Anas, whether it's about the port, it's about the border issue,
children's home.
it's not been political. It's not brought in political actors, but this one did. You see, and that's why I'm saying that if he who pays the piper causes the tune, or they actually not the ones now, but this particular case, we are talking about the highest office of president. I'm not saying that the president is calling on the security services not to act, but if the president appoints me, Roland, I want to please him. I will want to please him.
But
what's that man's name again? The director of operations. I'm told that he's out of the. He's been posted somewhere else. I think outside the country.
The man who
Dr. Agbojo or something.
helped us to appreciate how politics
I'm told
play
that
into.
he's out of.
He's outside. Oh,
he's been taking.
No, that's not surprising if it is true, because we knew that after the outburst this was going to happen. But I think that it's a shame, and it's a big shame.
Yeah.
All the institutions, including Parliament, including the presidency, that what we should have done, like someone is sitting somewhere after how many months telling us something that, like, it's a shame that they all know that we didn't do anything. Yeah, like we didn't act, like there's no leadership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true.
Like we're going back to something that we should have done.
We're laughing over this, but
It's a shame.
I've done some
It's a
work
shame.
before, and I've been followed by certain people. I didn't know them. I was living in Medina at the time. When you're driving, you could see people in your mirror, and people you always met during the day at various places. And so you get to find out there are faces that are following you around. And if you're a very smart journalist, you get to know that it's not the usual. You know, so sometimes you get to question the work you are doing, etc. But they are doing serious investigative work, and their lives always will be in danger. But we said we wanted to speak on
maybe just
a
piece of a point. Is it not surprising that it's so easy to get somebody to hide to kill another person?
It is.
Killing is not a joke, even if nobody will arrest you.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of guts, but people are doing it. And if you look at kidnapping, Atakrade, Port so being choked,
woman who's,
Reverend Egbadmo Tema comes for you know, think about it. People finish school for years before they land a job. When we close, let's go to Circle, where they sell the phones, Tiptail Lane. See young men with energy who wants to get something to do.
What do they say? The devil finds work.
For the idle hand. So as long as we keep postponing employment for our youth, our young people,
people find them jobs.
They will want to survive. And these things, they pay more.
Our society is
pay more
changing every day.
So we should be able to look at security from the point of human interest, what people need, so that they can be able to move on.
Number one.
Okay, so, you know, I was actually merging number one with Ahmed's killing, unknowingly, because it's become like related, but it is not related. I was just thinking that we had to send a whole entourage. How much did we spend on that, by the way? It's coming from state coffers.
Were we told?
To find out what we found out. Like, what did we go to do? And to give a February 2 dates. When we're told that in those areas, Friday, Saturday is not like working days. And so people are wondering when the court sits on February 2.
Well, it's a question we always have to ask. And
where is the statement? I am going to read the statement.
There's this statement that has been made over time, especially when we had, is it Idrisu Mahama, who the risk analyst, who came to speak to us, that the state agencies that were responsible, so-called, for policing the financial sector should have acted with the other quasi-state agencies in either taking the actions they took just the last week or two, sometime in February or before then. And it speaks volumes about, again, the posture of the state to certain issues that are of interest to either the political elite or if you look at the sort of comment that tend to come with certain issues when they come up and how relatedly they are close to key personalities or whether they are speculative, etc., etc. And if you look at the constant messages, advertising, and warnings that had come from the Bank of Ghana, then it speaks volumes about the posture of the state towards crimes or actions that are taken or perpetrated by individuals that ultimately tend to affect citizens. I'm speaking affecting citizens because a number of people, whether they knowingly or unknowingly invested in men's gold, have been affected by this. And people are really reeling from this action that has been taken so far. The inaction of the state needs to be questioned. Why did the state wait too long to take an action when its own quasi-agency, the Bank of Ghana, Securities Exchange Commission, etc., had been raising warning flags? How they didn't and why they didn't take action beats my mind.
Okay. I mean, fatigue is setting in for me when it comes to discussion on NAM1. Not because
But that's, you know, that's what they want. That's the effects that they want.
Okay.
Yeah. So please don't let it get there.
And the fatigue, it's not misplaced. I am beginning to feel that if you quantify the entire investment at Men's Gold, it will not be even 1% of the kinds of investments that the state needs to focus attention on. As I mentioned, the case of the unemployed youth or people who need jobs in our country, people who need to be comfortable in secondary schools, businesses that need economic indications to work for them so that they can flourish, security that needs to be put in place so that things can work. If you imagine that for the last 1 month, entire state security, entire government machinery has grinded to a halt, all discussing NAM1, you will realize that despite the urgency of that particular situation, we are not being balanced as a nation. I do sincerely believe that government should be focused. State agencies like SEC should work, and they should work and give us results on the quiet. But to the point that entire government have to come to a halt until we find NAM1, until we settle issues involving NAM1, until every customer there, how many are there? Let's say 500,000, until they all get comfortable.
500,000.
Everybody else must wait, because I also need the attention of government. I'm doing a lot of stuff that I need government to shine some light for me. Multimedia is doing a lot that government must look at. We cannot spend prime time, all of it, front pages.
People's lives and investments.
Of course, but what I'm talking about is percentage. How many of these lives are involved? I do believe that it's about time we look at the people who need jobs. Now, how did we even settle in on NAM1? How did it arrive? What will make you, Roland, if you have an investment, to go to a Ponzi venture? Because treasury bills are not giving the kind of returns that you will want to get from it. So I will be attracted to a Ponzi scheme that gives me 10%. So the point I'm making is that when state institutions are functioning, they are doing what they are supposed to do, then we'll not even arrive here. And as I call this thing, these two shall pass. We've had DKM.
Oh, they know. They
this
know.
DKM.
That's why I said don't allow fatigue to set in. They know.
No, what I'm saying is that, rightly so, DKM passed. Woyomi passed. And really, one thing did not pass: our poverty, our unemployment,
the state of being,
our underdevelopment. That has been constant. If we have energy, if we have resources, if we have initiatives, I think that fundamentally we should fix our system. Then we will not have people, and I think that NAM1 also deserves our sympathy, because he's a businessman who
committed wrong apparently.
No, what I'm saying is that if the system should be good for business people. what will make somebody with the kind of resources that Nam1 had decide to do what he did?
Greed.
Unless, of course,
I want to read
no,
the
no, no,
statement.
no, no. Unless, of course, he does not find trust in legitimate means of doing business.
Oh, but we know that there are people who still. I mean,
That's
you
a
and I.
controversial statement
They've
to
told
make.
us. They've said to us, you can go to DVLA, go through the process and get your license. You can go to the passport office, go through the process and get your license. But there are a good number of us who will still want to go through third parties, not because we've tested the system and
Because
it
it's
has
a-
failed us.
because
but
it's a social cultural issue.
yeah. So there are people who,
How-
irrespective of the system,
How old is
they
Nam1?
would.
How old is he?
think it's
33 I
34.
hear. But
No.
can I read the statement?
No.
Let
Yeah,
me read
please
the
do, please
statement.
do.
There's a lot in this statement.
Please do.
This is the update that we got from coming back from Dubai.
33 years.
The money was from Consolidated, so this is very important. Now, here we go with the statement. And it's the joint statement by Ghana Police Service and Economic and Organized Crime Office on the arrest of Yaa Naa Enskinment in Dubai, UAE. Subsequent to the police statement of 14 January 2019, this update provides further details on the status of investigations into the men's gold matter. A delegation of security and legal officers from Ghana visited the United Arab Emirates between 16th and 18th of January 2019. One, the mandate of the delegation was to determine the nature of the legal processes against Yaa Naa Enskinment, CEO of Men's Gold in the UAE, the most appropriate means by which Ghana can have custody of Mr. Mensah to assist with investigations involving his company in Ghana. Two, prior to this, Mr. Mensah was cooperating with Iyoko as part of its investigations into a possible misdemeanor in breach of banks and specialized deposits taken Institution Act 2016 Act 930, as reported to it by the Bank of Ghana. Upon a breakdown of cooperation, Iyoko employed other strategies, including the use of associates and collaborating with other security agencies to make him available for further investigations. At the same time, persons in the UAE employed similar methods in getting Mr. Mensah to visit the UAE, where he was subsequently apprehended. Three, it is the understanding of the Ghanaian delegation that Mr. Mensah faces misdemeanor charges in the UAE and will be made available to Ghana upon the final determination of his current matter in the UAE. His case is next due for court on February 2, 2019. Four, and the last. Meanwhile, Mr. Mensah has provided an extensive statement to Ghanaian security and legal officers to assist in investigations into the Ghana matter for further action. Iyoko and the Ghana Police Service shall continue with investigations and processes aimed at bringing a resolution to the Ghana matter while following due process. And this was signed by David Aklu, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Director General of Public Affairs, and Abu Issa, Acting Head Legal and Prosecutions for Executive Director of Iyoko. We carried ourselves to UAE, and this is what we brought back. Amazing, incredible. We're supposed to be clapping for them for a wonderful work done.
Well,
I
actually,
like the way you do that.
well, actually, I seem to think that because if you look at the quantum or the amount of investment in there, comparable to some other investments in the entire financial system, then the attention of the states and the way the media is all hyped up about this perhaps is in the wrong direction. I seem to disagree.
There will be more on AM Talk than you can, because we have to go real quick.
Right.
Fred, do we have time to look at what's on myjoyonline.com?
I think so, we do.
Or we're being sacked? Okay, we're done. That's the end of the road. But just we keep an eye on Congo. I thought we could do it, but not a lot of time. Their constitutional courts yesterday declared Mr. Tshisekedi as president of Congo. Meanwhile, remember last week, you were not here, but Benji would remember, the African Union had asked the country to hold on, and they were due to visit Congo today with a certain delegation. But with the Constitutional Court's announcement, they've cancelled that visit. We know that South Africa and Kenya already congratulated the president, and the other opposition person who also thinks is the person who's won, they say that they're going to get their people to hit the street and demonstrate. So
declared himself
our
president.
prayer is with Congo. Say a prayer, and if you can, just log on and get the update from Congo.
Yeah. Also, make sure that you log on to myjoyonline.com, get all the latest updates from the local and international scene right here on the page.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we have to make you the latest.
We'll bring you sport. It's so sad in the Australian Open. My favorite Federer is out, knocked out by a gentleman who is 21. Is it 21? Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. And we have Serena in there with the topmost seeded lady. But we hope that she's able to get around her, and we'll bring the latest update on that right here on sports.